Hello all, and thanks for joining my quick video on changes to the new parts patterning feature in Inventor 2026. So my name is Fred Bowman. I'm a Senior Application Engineer at NextGen Solutions. Who are we, you ask? We are a Autodesk reseller. We sell the products, we train it for you guys to use them. We can even offer technical support or implementations if you have ideas of adding Vault to your environment, and we can do demos and all that kind of stuff. So if you're looking for that, reach out. If not, back to what we're actually talking about today. We're going to look at the pattern features and what the updates are. Now, this video here is not to talk about what's happened at the assembly level. Autodesk has done a really good job at pushing out videos showing how the pattern feature has been updated for that. I'm going to focus on what's happening at the part level. So you guys probably have seen some things have changed in there. Yes, this is what we are familiar with the properties panel, and now we have this box on the right. And I'm not just talking by the fact that it's dark, right? We all know that dark mode is the new default of 2026, and if we didn't know that, we do now. So I'm going to be going over this. We're going to start from the top and work our way down through the different options. Some of them are going to be familiar. Some of them have added options to it. Some of them let you change the style. So I'm going to point a few things out on this slide before I switch over to Inventor and the life demo. But just saying, our old icons here for features and solids have been moved over onto the right, like you've seen for some of the other property panels. They also added an option to switch between the three different patterning features you have out there: your sketch driven, your circular, and your rectangular. They have also added a new style of preview button. I actually like this better than the glasses, but for those who like the classic, I'm sorry, we have an eyeball now instead of glasses. Not sure why. Another thing I do want to point out is you may have noticed direction A and direction B look different. That's just for me. I made that so you guys could see there is some customization options they allow you to. If you use this drop down here, you can change between icons and using a drop down menu, so you have your preference. And this is what I call a sticky setting. So I made that change. I've closed Inventor, I've restarted my computer, and it remembers that, hey, for direction B, he likes using the drop down, but direction A, he's using the icons. So stuff like that is customizable. You probably notice my distribution here is also different between the two. So these are minor changes they have in here, but let's get into some more of the meat of it, right? So I have a file here. I'm going to go ahead and open. Bingo. All right, there's not a lot going on here because I'm here just to show you what's happening. So I'm going to go through, sketch driven and rectangular. Circular and sketch driven are pretty much the same, but we'll go ahead and start with sketch driven. I have a sketch here that I'm sharing, so it's technically not consumed. So it sees it's there, sees that those 3 points are there, and it will grab them right off the bat. This is a feature that technically existed before. I just wanted to show it is still there. If I go ahead and select the feature to pattern, it will go ahead and do so. Now, if I had two sketches and both of them had sketch points that weren't being used, Inventor would ask me, which points do you want to select? It wouldn't make it an assumption. So keep that in mind. But in this case, I did. I had a sketch that was in there, almost like it was designed for this. So nothing crazy about that. You can change the base point for the seed feature if you wanted to, and you can change the orientation as well, along with the creation method, right? Optimize means it uses the least amount of CPU, adjust uses the most, but they come with pros and cons. Alright, but we cover that in the Inventor intro class, and that hasn't changed, so I'm not going to get too crazy on that. So you can see that one is pretty simple and self-explanatory. Our circular one is kind of interesting, but once you figure out the rectangular pattern, the circular one is just going to fall right into gear because it's built the same way, right? So on the top, I said to start from the top and work our way down, right? So let's go ahead and select our three features in the middle here. I have a post with some fillets and a center hole. So I just used the graphics window to select that. I could have used the model browser. That hasn't changed. Then we can come down here and we can select the direction. So we can still do custom direction, and I can select a line to point which direction. Or I could go ahead and use the three orthogonal, or our origin axes, right? So in this case, the z-axis, I could have just done that rather than using a line on the screen. Why don't I go ahead and just put in a bunch of those, And you can see if I wanted to, I could say midplane can be used, right? So that way you're starting with the center and you're moving out in both directions, which is kind of a cool feature that we didn't, that's been added right next to the window there. You can still switch between incremental and fitted, right? Well, that'd be a little small if we did it that way. But 20 inches looks good. We do have one falling off, but I'm going to show how you can use boundaries. You're probably familiar with some of this if you've used these commands in the past. But irregular distance is neat and new. We can hit this plus symbol here, and in this case it's going to have me select one of my instances along in that direction, and then I can specify a different distance for that. So in this case, let's do 3.5. We're going to select another direction. This time we're going to select the X direction. It will be a midplane. Sure. Why don't we put 2 inches there? Yeah, that's fine. That's okay. So we've kind of shown a regular distance. I'm not going to go into that one again, but we can show boundary here that we technically had before, but I'm just going to show it in case you guys hadn't seen it before. For this case, the boundary I want to select is the top face. And the reason for that is I don't really want patterns in those slots because that's not really going to work very well graphically at all, right? And it's going to get rid of all these ones that are kind of off the screen as well. And we get 3 different options when we do this, right? We can say include the geometry as long as the centroid is on the boundary. So even though part of the geometry goes over the hole, it adds it, right? So ideally this is the one I want because the geometry goes off the boundary, thus I want it gone. If I wanted to add an offset in there, it would add an offset, and anything that hits that offset would also get removed as well. So that one's kind of neat. Lets you customize a little bit more. And then you still have our 3 different creation methods. So why don't we go OK? We can see it went ahead and pushed it out. Something happened here with my pattern. That's fine. Honestly, I just wanted to show it a little bit. I just made up the dimensions on the fly. So them running into each other and causing the fillets to blow up, it's kind of on me. That's okay. The idea here is I wanted you guys to see, the different preview options, the feature selections, how to use the different commands, and what each of the commands does, right? One of them, if you guys remember your Inventor intro class, or if you have never done that, I do want to show another feature here, so I'm going to go ahead and turn off the visibility of that sketch, clear it up a little bit. I'm going to pattern this slot around the outside edge here. I found that it wasn't as intuitive to figure out how to make this pattern follow all the way around the outside surface. I want to walk through how to do that. Hopefully I'm doing good at my time here. Alright, so to do this, we're going to go ahead and start ourselves a sketch. I believe I made it so our midplane here goes through the center of the part, which is fantastic. And then we're going to want to go ahead and project some geometry. So I'm going to go ahead and select a bunch of lines. I could have selected the face, yeah, but I'd have a bunch of holes in it. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. That looks great. I do need to have a point there because I do need to say what the center point's going to be. Let's see here. Oh, if you guys remember, right-click point snaps, so I can force it to do an end midpoint would be ideal as well. Bink, there we go. So now I have myself a little sketch point. Perfect. We're going to use that to drive our part around. So we're going to go ahead and use our rectangular pattern once again. In this case, I can use that slot, which I can steal from the model browser if I wanted to, just to do something slightly different. And then we're going to select the custom direction, and I'm going to select that sketch. You see how all the lines highlight when I do so. And now if I select it, it's grabbed the one for me. I can go ahead and say, yeah, I want 50 of these. All right. Now this is where things get a little funky, right? Because it's starting there, it's following my sketch, but it's not giving me the end desire I want, is it? Not at all. So how do we figure that out? Well, we use something called the start point that's now showing up here. I can use that little point that I created, and now Now we have a much better result. We see that it's following along, but the profile is broken, right? So we're still not quite there yet. We have to change our orientation, which this option is now shown up now that it knows that we've selected a sketch to follow. And I can tell it, instead of being identical to our seed part, I want it to be following direction 1. What's direction 1? Technically it's direction A. I don't know why they didn't change that to an A. They probably should have, but it knows to follow the direction that was selected here. And we can see that it is indeed doing that. But it's not going all the way around, so we're not quite there yet. In fact, to change up a few things, you'll see next to our distance we have this little icon called curve length. What does that mean? That means the circle that or the sketch that I've dragged on, that's going to be the length I want to use, and I want it to be fitted. So basically all 50 of these are going to fit inside that length. And now we can see that they've all been evenly spaced in there, and they're all looking kind of what I was looking for. So I'm going to just hit OK. Let's see what we ended up with. And by golly, it looks like a solid with a bunch of holes in it. But yes, so those are the key features I wanted to point out there if you're trying to follow a curve length like that, because it can be interesting, right? We get a few additional commands that didn't exist there before. We get the start point, we get the orientation options, and we can see that we can use the curve length to help determine our distance of 55.708, and I'm sure that's rounded, and help us determine all that without me having to pull out a calculator and the measure tool and figure all that out. I can just have it done for me. So that being said, that concludes my live demo of this new features on the side here. I believe this is where I end by saying, if you guys have any additional questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to reach out to our technical support team or our sales team. We'd love to talk to you and get you the answers that you're looking for, and maybe partner with you guys all in the future. So that being said, I'll see you at the next video. Bye for now.